Flood season, China. Local authorities release reservoir water. A very warm welcome to the channel. It's Thursday the 9th of June 2022 and it's quite a damning headline here that local authorities in southern parts of China have released reservoir water without informing the people below the reservoir. Now, this is quite a common practice. We've heard this in 2020 with the Three Gorges Dam when they opened the sluice gates, and exactly the same kind of thing happened. This is in the region here of Guangxi province, which is really close to Guangdong. You can see on the map Nanning is there, it's close to Vietnam, and towards the right hand side is the area of Hong Kong. Basically, what happens is well, let me just read this for example. When you inform residents about plans to discharge water, will they agree with it? They would demand compensation for crops, livestock, and other property damages, at least billions of dollars. But instead, these same residents would be grateful for bags of instant noodles from authorities if they believe the flood came from natural causes. So what happens is the floods come, the rains come, the reservoir basically goes up, they release the water via a dam or however they do it. They don't inform the local people there down below, so they don't have to pay compensation. And they just say, oh, it's natural. And then they do all the relief. It's a lot cheaper than telling them, because then they will have to be compensated. This is China for you. This are the local authorities. They seem to be the party first and the people last in the People's Republic of China. So when people say the people come first in China, it's just honestly not true. Every year in China, this seems to happen regardless. The locals are wise to the situation. The locals may be unable to move to higher ground or to a different location because lack of funds. COVID restrictions in China means you can't really move from one place to another. You can to visit, maybe to do business, but again, people are unable to pack up their bags and move on from it, and they just have to suffer year after year. They are wise to the situation. What they can do basically is, well, border up their home, get some sandbags, and hopefully that the rains are not very big. But you can see from this image here, for example, that it goes higher than a street level sign, which is going to be like 2 meters tall. There have been inches of rain. Now, on my big show, every day we do show the weather, but it doesn't actually grasp the actual situation of what it's like with, I'm going to use the quotation, boots on the ground. Let's move on to other things which have been happening in the southern China in the same districts. Now, we all know about the COVID lockdown in Shanghai and a partial lockdown in Beijing in April and May. But this area, once again, in some certain cities, some have been in lockdown since February. It has been unreported. And recently, like Shanghai, it slowly reopened, only for the authorities to say that we're going to lock down again because there have been some more cases. The residents since February, that's February, March, April, May, 4 months, that's like 120 days of lockdown. Now, I don't know what kind of lockdown. So the residents did actually protest with this, and there were some skirmishes, etc., with the local authorities. But the authorities did concede to say you can have a lockdown in a community area. In other words, not just your home, you can go outside in that certain area. This is what happened in this city last year when they did have lockdowns. It was the community that locked down, and you can have delivery service, and it worked quite well. It wasn't a big negative on your life, and on some occasions you could move around the whole city, but you couldn't leave the city without a special pass. I think that kind of thing. Moving away from the floods and southern China. This gentleman on the left-hand side, I don't know his name, but he is a very famous influencer in China, and he does many videos on Douyin, which is TikTok, related to certain products. One day he managed to sell over $640 million worth of goods, which is pretty amazing. He became famous because he used to wear lipstick, or he did an advert related to lipstick and sold millions of dollars of products. More recently, he actually did a advertisement or a info commercial, like QVC, so to speak, related to this cake from the UK, Viennetta ice cream cake, very delicious indeed. But it got taken down because it looked like this. And now his fame has just disappeared. These are the Chinese authorities. This is Xi Jinping and his gang being oversensitive. Most people would say it's just an innocent, honest mistake, but it was the timing of the whole thing was around the beginning of July, which is what happened way back in June the 4th, 1989, if you remember that. This lady, Eileen Gu, is back in the news. Eileen Gu is an American citizen. Her mum is Chinese, her dad is American. She did actually ski in the 2022 Olympic Games for China, one way or the other. I don't know how she managed to do it, because China, you can only have one passport. You can't have two. If you do, it's sort of like kept secret. For example, some businessmen may have an Australian passport because they live there, but they won't give up their Chinese passport. They just keep it secret. It's illegal in China, but it's legal in Australia. Eileen Gu, she skied for the Chinese party, the Chinese team for Beijing 2022. Now she's back in the news after going back to America, after going back to being an American citizen, I presume, saying that she is going to be a sports ambassador for the Salt Lake City Games in 2030 in the United States. She is so two-faced. This is my sort of own personal opinion, that she, born and raised in the United States, went to China for 3 or 4 weeks, get 2 gold medals for the Chinese for the Olympic Games, now back in America on an American passport, not a Chinese passport, which doesn't make sense at all. And saying, you could say, some people are saying, are you overcompensating? I'm not too sure if it's her who's actually doing this or if it's her evil mother, and I think it's her. She earns about $30 million per year from advertising revenue in China, and now she wants to do this. It's frustrating. Yeah? She also got a place in Stanford University, but I don't think she'd be able to go due to the reason that she's not going to be popular because of her being a traitor to the United States of America. One more thing before we go is this little video here. Now, I'm not too sure, I think this is in here, Cambodia. Now, we have had rains like normal. There have been some floods as normal. In this city, they've done really well with the 38 road project, and the floods have been quite minimal, compared to like 1 foot in the city centre of rain. This year, none. But I don't know where this is, but you can see some people accidentally, for some unknown reason, left a armchair and a sofa out. And that brings us to a close on Thursday, the 9th of June 2022. As always, thank you very much for your time. And as always, I am going to do the groveling with the like. Please, if you can do that, if you can share this on your social media, and if you could make sure your subscription is still valid, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. That's all I ask for you. It really helps the channel grow. Have a happy and awesome and epic day wherever you are in the world. My name is James. This is the James Neil Cooper channel. Bye bye for now, and hopefully I'll see you a little bit later this evening, my time, for the big show, mainly about the Three Gorges Dam. God bless to everyone. Bye bye.